to the Tech Ranch, where we explore the world of living with technology. Get ready to take a deep dive into the latest gadgets, apps, and innovations with your hosts, the Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson, and his trusty co-host, Steve Bakken. Join us on this exciting journey, and don't forget to visit thetechranch.com for even more exclusive content. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Marlo and Steve to the Tech Ranch.
Chris joining us on the Tech Ranch, and Chris, copyright infringement is usually something that the corporate world deals with on more frequently than people understand. But the mechanism by which somebody infringes on a copyright, you've stumbled across an interesting little case.
Yeah, so there's this issue, and I think we talked about it a little bit last week about this software as a service where we're just renting software now.
Right.
And, you know, the article I saw was it's talking about
just because you purchase it doesn't mean you own it.
Correct. And really what it's come down to is that rather than companies being able to use tools, buy tools and use them to manufacture product, whether it's electronic apps or a widget, now they're having to rent those tools from someone else. And so that eats into profits, and that gets into this whole debate over feudalism and capitalism and blah, 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 blah. But,
well, and down the road, it could have some ramifications on if you're using something that's rented, then who owns what you're creating as well?
Right. So like there was this one case where there's a company called Unity that manufactures a software that video game creators use to make video games. And they basically said, well, if you use our software to make your video games, we want a cut of your profits. It's like, you didn't make my video game. I just bought your tool and I'm using it. Well, no, that's our copyrighted product. So you're using our stuff to make your stuff so we get the money.
It's kind of like taxes. It's like the government didn't put in the work. Mm-hmm. Why should they get a cut?
Right. So there was a case where 2002, the video game company called Blizzard sued a bunch of hobbyists for creating a secondary game server they could play on, and basically said, you know, you're violating our copyright. But the reason the hobbyists created it was because the server that Blizzard wanted everybody to use was buggy. But the other side was it too, is that it also had anti-cheating codes. Well, these guys wanted to cheat, so they created their own thing. Well, they claimed it was piracy.
Try to remember if I remember the pattern for Ms. Pac-Man.
Yeah. So it says it's
always a hack.
Mm-hmm. So rather than doing it after piracy, they basically said, you violated our copyright because you circumvented the access of controls of copyrighted works. You used debuggers to examine our software that you already paid for. You ran it on your own computers, and you tried to make your own game server. Well, this has kind of evolved into this argument here is Walmart. Let's say that they had a policy that you could only shelve the books you bought at Walmart on shelves you bought at Walmart. Or they were going to
makes no sense.
Or they were going to pay you you had to rent the space on the shelf based on how wide your books were or something like that.
So the other side of that, though, too, is, you know, with copyrights, okay, you've got something that's copyrighted. Mm-hmm. But there's wiggle room for improving a copyrighted product. And I would think that would fall under that because they made some major improvements on that server.
Right. There's this thing about derivative works, but then you have to look at, was it transformative? And that's how the courts kind of look at whether or not you violated somebody's copyright. But what this has evolved into is there's a German publisher called KLXX Springer. And they are looking at the makers of AdBlock Plus, which everyone uses kind of on Chrome or Edge, and says, I want to block all these ads. I don't want ads. I'm going to put an ad blocker on my web browser.
No relation to Jerry Springer, right?
Right. Okay. But it says that, no, you're changing the HTML of our web pages to create a derivative work by blocking those ads. And therefore, you're violating our copyright by blocking ads on our websites.
Whoa. But I don't want ads.
Right. But no, but you're going after our HTML code. Right. And we have that copyright.
Changing the code.
But it's like, HTML code technically can't be copyrighted. The website maybe, but so yeah, this is whole thing where we've gone from a situation where we're renting software, we're renting Adobe, to the point where now we can't even browse the web without looking at ads because they say, well, no, you can't block ads on our page.
So how much of this comes back to the argument that, okay, an open web, you know, it's open, it's free space because that's the best benefit for people to be able to use it. How much of this comes back to that? Because by default, it's not an open and free space if now you're putting these constraints on what the products are, right? And being okay. This is something that the courts are going to really have to look at.
Well, it gets to this whole issue of scraping websites.
So define scraping websites.
Basically, like the Internet Archive is a website that goes out and it captures histories of web pages. The best example I could have is that every past presidential administration has their full website, their whole website managed by the National Archives, because that is an official document, even though it's a bunch of connected websites. Senators have the same thing where they're constantly updating their pages, taking things down, putting them back up. And this Internet Archive, they go out and they say, well, what did that page look like in 2015 compared to 2022? So they make copies of it. And you can go back and look and see what was there. The question is that now is that going to become copyright infringement because you're making copies of somebody else's website? The downside is that we look at politics, and we don't really want to talk about politics, but let's say some politician says something boneheaded 20 years ago and then tries to bury it.
Because they never do that.
Right. Well, the Internet Archive has a copy of it, but they're going to try to deny it exists. But the Internet Archive has a copy. Well, what happens if Internet Archive shuts down? Then you could really hide something on the Internet. Because what they say, once it's up on the Internet, it never goes away.
Right. So that's kind of the mindset is anything that's on the computer and out in the Internet, it's there forever.
Right.
But now you're telling us that there's a loophole that could change.
Right. Where you can just basically hide or just change your tune or change what you said or any number of things.
So you don't need to take a hammer to your hard drive.
That's right. Just let the courts take care of it for you.
Just let the courts take. Okay, so long term, what does this mean? And I mean, this is something that I could see taking decades in the courts to try to work through.
Long term, I mean, it's just going to wreak havoc on how people make things.
Which intellectual property, that's going to, that could change a lot of different things.
Welcome back to the Tech Ranch. Let's get back to discovering the latest in technology with the guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
Chris, with us on the Tech Ranch. I'm Steve Bakken. And, okay, so as an Android user, the term Apple Intelligence to me is an oxymoron, but you're talking about it in something completely different.
Yeah, this is Apple's foray into artificial intelligence, and it's supposed to come out in the next operating system, iOS 18. But just yesterday, I think it was, it's the first draft of this is now available in beta form to certain iPhone users who use, I think, the iPhone 15.
Are you a certain iPhone user?
I am not.
Okay.
I have an iPhone 12. I generally go 6 years between upgrades.
You're one of those.
Yeah.
I do that too.
Yeah. Also, is the fact that my wife is due for the next new phone, so I have to wait for her to get her new phone, and then it's this whole thing. But it's talking about I'm just now kind of getting in a mind around this, but so it's sort of like Siri if she was smarter than she already is.
Isn't she?
She's pretty smart.
Well, we've had this discussion in the past. Is is Siri going to be, or Alexa, or any of them, just an augmented what they currently are and continue to grow, or is that old technology and it just leapfrogged way over that?
Right. So it looks like there's options now where you can actually talk to Siri by writing prompts, which is kind of how people are used to ChatGPT. Siri's much better at parsing natural language, waiting for you to finish your ums and ahs. But it says here that future updates will let Siri see what's going on your screen and take actions on your behalf.
Whoa, wait a minute.
It's like, okay.
Okay, so I'm making an online purchase on my phone, and do I really want that? Siri might go ahead and, oh no, you want it, make the purchase and do it for you.
Or that
scares me.
There was a funny commercial where it was, I think it was, Google's, Google Assistant, Alexa, and Siri all in the same room, and they were talking to their owner. It's like, Dave, why are you talking to her?
Welcome to junior high school.
Who is she?
Wow.
That kind of thing. So it's kind of funny.
That would be hilarious. We should set that up.
Yeah, we should. But yeah, it looks like it's going to help you with, you can summarize your emails. It'll automatically summarize emails for you.
See, now, I hate email, and I
would love to have my emails on.
Always hated emails. But how much can you trust the interpretation of a summary? That's a big step for a lot of people to have that faith. Go, yeah, give me all the information that I need, and we're good with that.
Right.
I mean, and then it misses something, and work gets a little angry.
Yeah. There's this whole. We are such a instant gratification society where even with blog posts, now at the very top, they put up that too long, didn't read. This is what this article's about. Now I can skip reading the whole thing and go on to the next one. At least that, to a certain degree,
is a ton of people buying into this.
It's, at least that way, it's like somebody writing it. But yeah, if AI decides, well, this is what's important about this, then it's like, look at the algorithms.
Well, we're getting a lot of examples of letting AI decide what's important.
Mm-hmm. I can see, YouTube has algorithms where you start watching cute cat videos. Suddenly it's giving you more cat videos. If you suddenly use your AI to start skipping over parts of your emails, it may not even show you certain emails in the future that are super important.
Well, but that's the algorithm right now with a lot of social media. Like, so Facebook Meta, for example, you can go into every conversation and it doesn't show you all of them. It defaults to most relevant. Well, who gets to decide most relevant?
Right.
And I always try to click it over to all, but what's the definition of most relevant?
And I've even noticed that on our business page here for the calendar, we'll do live streams and we'll use the comment sections as a way to do contests. Well, I need to know who answered first. If you give me just the most relevant, I don't have
you don't know the first response.
The chronological response. And even makes it harder for businesses to see that chronological without going back and watching the live stream from the beginning and watch them pop up in real time. And so, there's ways to get around that, but
that's cumbersome though.
Yeah. Yes, I would like to know who my most engaged customers are, but when I'm looking for specific comments, I want to see what everybody said, not just who you think is important.
Well, and I'll put it back to old school, my background in radio, and you'd run a contest, and it's, hi, caller number 1, caller 2, 3, 4, congratulations, you're caller number 10. Now it'd be like, okay, I'm just going to sit here for a minute, and boom, you're caller number 10.
Right.
That's not fair. It's not right, and it's just random. And quote unquote most relevant to me is random. And yeah, I don't know if I could trust AI in that space, at least not right now.
Mm-hmm. The biggest things I think are kind of work would be really good is some of the writing tools. I mean, I'm a writer, so I like being able to use stuff that makes it easier for me to write. Like I have an app right now where I can save notes and just start writing in plain text, and it's what I used for my master's degree. Just started writing stuff. And then it was just easier to access and share across devices. If I had something that could help me summarize everything built into that, rather than having to do a separate app to summarize something or to create an outline, I like that idea. Automatic transcriptions, I think is pretty good. The other thing I could see that would be beneficial is there's face recognition a little bit in the iPhone Photos app, where it looks at all your photos and says, well, is this person? And it'll give you all the photos of that person, like my son. It can give me all my photos of my son in one click. But look at maybe Google Lens. If I want to search something, I have a photo of it. Apple Photos will suddenly go out and say, okay, here's that similar item on the web. Google is really pushing that hard with their Gemini. Take a picture of something and now you can find it online.
That's one of the nice features too with like my Android AI phone is I've noticed with the features on the photos and in the photo archive, I can go group things. It'll do it for me. It'll go group, okay, dog pictures. Okay, here's the pictures of all my dogs. Or fishing pictures. Here's the picture of all the fish. It's kind of a neat feature, but the full spectrum, I don't know if I really trust it yet. Mm-hmm.
And we're back. Don't miss a minute of the Tech Ranch as we explore the cutting edge of tech with Marlo and Steve. For more exclusive content, visit thetechranch.com.
Mr. Steve.
Mr. Anderson.
Hey, I was on an earlier segment this week on a TV piece that I do about.
Just one?
Well, this particular one. About.
Beauty piece, not hair piece.
That's correct.
Yes.
Have you noticed that I'm growing my hair longer?
You are.
The one strand that's left, so I can cleverly weave it even more across the top of my head.
You got that hippie thing going. It's
not quite that long yet.
Dare I say a mullet?
No, you don't dare say a mullet. Although, if I could grow one, I would be very impressed, actually. Yeah.
I would grow my mullet back if I could.
Suppose I could grow facial hair, cut that, beat it into my hair in the back, and call that a mullet.
Kind of a weave?
I could call it a
weave.
A beeve.
It'd be a beeve.
Beard hair. Like, I wonder if that could be a thing. Hey, it's a dude. Can I cut your beard off for $100 and use your hair for my hair?
Nice. Have you seen some guys with?
I don't. Yes, I have.
You know,
did you know that
that's a thing now?
The guy with the longest beard ever was from North Dakota?
Are you kidding me?
18 feet.
Oh,
whatever. Can you imagine?
How do you shovel?
How do you do anything? I guess he tucked it into his pants for events and things like that, right? But even
I was thinking he'd wear it up like a beehive, like.
But even tucking it in your pants,
your beard.
Let's say the guy is even above average height and he's 6 feet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's still twice as high as three times as high as you.
You have to braid it.
Can you imagine the amount of food that was left over?
Oh, ew.
Oh, there's a piece of dinner from last Friday.
I'm just saving that for later. Might be hungry later. I might need a snack.
I mean, I get that now in mine, and I have no beard to speak of. I keep mine pretty trim, but it's always amazing that there'll be like a cracker crumb or something. And I'm like,
you're a goatee guy, so
yeah. I'm
like a little mini show.
Out of style right now, I guess. But
why? I'm a goatee guy.
Yeah, you are. It's amazing.
So we're out of style, I guess.
You and me are both out of style. All right, I want to talk about saving money.
Uh-oh. Acorns.
Yeah, well, besides that,
okay.
Not so much that.
You turned me on to that. I love that.
I do too.
I love that app.
That we could talk about that too, but I'm actually talking about saving money. I mean, there's a lot of things nowadays.
By not having to spend money?
One can say that inflation's been out of control for a little while now, right? And things, I think they've stabilized a little bit, but I'm always surprised when I walk in someplace and I'm like, that's gone up another 50 cents? Are you serious? I mean, it just doesn't seem to stop for some things.
Groceries.
Yeah, exactly right. So how can you save money? And we were talking about how do you save money on internet? So that's kind of what got me thinking about this. And we'll talk about that first, but I want to get into, say that again.
Hang out at a lot of coffee shops.
But the coffee's expensive. So yeah, but the device that we all carry with us actually can save us a lot of money.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what I really want to get into. But let's talk about the internet first and how you can save a couple bucks. I don't know if most people know this, but the equipment that they get from their ISP, their internet service provider, just so that everybody has a basis to what ISP is.
Right.
You can buy those outright, and the price of those has actually, like most electronics, after they've been out for a while, come down in price, right? So if you have just think about what a 40-inch flat screen television used to cost. I remember it being big news, huge news, like the cover of a magazine type of news when it broke the $3,000 barrier a decade ago or whatever it was, right?
Well, I told you why I just paid for 3, and I'm using it for monitors, but Roku TVs.
Yeah.
$99 a piece.
Yeah.
42-inch.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. 42-inch television.
They were on clearance, but that's 42
that made national news in a big way when they broke $3,000 a few years ago. So,
well, I remember I told you I was at national championship football game at the Rose Bowl one year, and Sony had a almost paper thin flat screen 120-inch TV there. That was absolutely amazing.
Yep.
That was over $100,000.
Yeah. I'd seen, I'm guessing 6 or 7 years ago, there was a flat screen at CES that they were bragging about, and they had partnered, I think it was LG, but they had partnered with oh my goodness, they're not even there anymore, but not Best Buy. I got Kruger's in my head. That's not right. Fry's.
Oh,
Fry's Electronics, right?
Isn't that a business?
Yeah, Fry's is not in business anymore. Yeah. And
in Portland, I love Fry's.
Of course, in Vegas,
trips.
It was, me too.
Yeah.
Go to Vegas.
Awesome.
Well, it was like a combination of Best Buy and Radio Shack.
Yeah, and
because you could get the parts.
But it was warehouse style.
You could go in there and you could get motherboards and wire and alligator clips and breadboards.
Like going to Costco or Sam's Club, but for electronics.
Yeah, it was great.
Not just the finished product. You could get everything, all of the components.
They weren't. One of the things I always didn't like about it was that they were not the best price. You know, you and I, when we get together, we were so distracted. Where'd you find those socks?
They were sitting on the you got to turn this desk off.
Yeah.
It's growing.
Now there's socks on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Crazy.
Big boy socks.
Anyway, getting back to the internet. So you can actually save a few dollars. First, you want to look and see that if you're not renting your equipment, right? I mean, I think a lot of people, if they were to look at their bill, they would be maybe stunned that they're spending $18 or $20 a month on equipment rental. Well, you take that. Let's just take it at $20. And 20 times 12 is $240. And I'll be willing to bet that most people listening to this program haven't changed their internet equipment in their home for years, right? I mean, they get the cable modem, they have a Wi-Fi that they have going through their house, and it might be 2, 3, 4 years old already. Well, if it's 3 years old and you're renting it, you've spent $720 on rental fees. You can go get the equipment for under $2.
But most people are thinking, well, if something happens,
that is true.
Take care of it. It's warranted. If it breaks, I don't have to replace it.
There is all of that. So if you're in that camp and you just don't want to worry about it, then okay. I mean, you're paying for the service more than anything else. But if
you're paying for the service,
right, that's right. But if your cable modem goes down, for example, or whatever, and you reboot it and it's not working or whatever, you can still call your ISP and they'll tell you if you have signal coming into your house or not. They'll still come fix things for you.
I have an app for that, by the way. I can.
Yes, there is an app for that.
I have a cool little app for that.
So the lowest hanging fruit for saving money on internet service is obviously equipment rental. And after the break, we'll get into more ways that you can save on your internet service as well.
Thanks for staying with us on the Tech Ranch. Let's rejoin Marlo and Steve as they guide us through the fascinating world of technology.
And we're back talking about how to save money.
I like saving money.
I do too. And there's probably some low-hanging fruit out in the world.
You know the easiest way to save money?
Not spend it.
Don't buy something.
That's right.
The easiest way.
Do you go in these do you get in a mood though sometimes that you just start buying stuff?
Really?
You've never done that? Like,
of course I have.
Yeah, I wonder if that's just kind of human nature.
What a crappy day. I'm going shopping.
It is.
And now it's way too easy on the internet.
It is way too easy.
And actually, my wife, Wendy, does not give me her login for Amazon Prime. Well, she knows I'm cheap. I am thrifty cheap.
Right.
So if I had her code to Amazon Prime, because I'm a clearance guy. I buy things on clearance. But there's no way I would buy something on Amazon without using Prime. So she knows that, so she doesn't give me the login. Because she knows that I'm not going to buy something unless it's on sale.
Right.
It's just sale, clearance.
I was really proud of myself this morning. Even I was at a coffee shop. This young lady's in there, and she has a gimbal that she's holding. That's a camera built into the gimbal, not a gimbal.
Oh, the one-piece unit.
Yes. Yeah. Have you seen these?
I have. Those are pretty cool.
And I thought I'd be really, because she has it with her.
You're like, I got to have one.
Oh my goodness. I'm looking at this thing and I'm going nuts.
I know you.
I know how, I like using the gimbal. You attach your phone to it and it tracks you around and does all that stuff, right? But they're problematic. They really are to set up and all this stuff. So anyway, just fell in love with this smaller, all-in-one type of gimbal with this camera. And it's got the follow me feature and all this stuff, right?
You're a gadget guy.
And I wanted to talk to her some more about it. So she went and sat down in the coffee shop and I came right over. I had my lavs, my wireless lavaliers. They're microphones for those who are not familiar with that term, I guess. They're the little clip-on microphones that you use. These wireless ones have been coming out that you can hook up to your phone now.
With a little Bluetooth.
Yeah. Or not even really Bluetooth. There's some Bluetooth microphones out there.
I've seen the Bluetooth ones.
Like you'd put on your ear or whatever, right? But they don't usually come in pairs. So like if you want to do an interview or whatever. So what's happened is they've created kind of their own dongle that goes into the USB port or the Apple port on your iPhones. And then it creates its own little Wi-Fi type of thing, right? It might be Bluetooth, but I think it's different than Bluetooth because the range is 100 feet or something. But anyway, and then there's two of them, so you can clip one onto you. I can clip one onto me. I can ask you questions.
FM or something.
It's really cool. And so I thought I'd be smart and grab the pack that I have in my case and take it over and say, hey, you could pair this with this. And she's smiling at me as I'm telling her this. And then she goes, well, I bought this as a bundle and I have the lamps that came with it. And I'm like, she just deflated me like right there. Like I can't even contribute to the conversation.
You're a bigger tech geek than you?
So then I'm like, all right.
Did you ask her if she got the bundle?
Well, they're DJI's. So I hop on DJI's website and I looked at it and I was like, I'm buying these right now. I could use this. The bundle is like almost $1,000. And I'm like, I am almost visibly shaking. Like, do I buy it? Do I not buy it? Can I find something that's less money? Is it going to go on sale in a week? I would normally not even question it. I would just normally do it. But if it was $200 or $300, I would already own the darn thing, but there was actually something out there that went beyond my price point for immediate compulsive satisfaction, I guess you could say.
That shocks me.
So, because
I know you.
Nothing gets me more excited than new gadgets.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah.
Also coming from the guy who couldn't wait another month, actually, weeks for the AI phone.
I know. I'm probably going to go in as soon as the 25 comes out. I'll be there though, which is probably in a couple of weeks. Anyway, so are there studies about shopping and mood?
Yeah.
Are there?
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not really a shopping. I mean, if I go shopping for clothes, I hold it up. Yeah, that's my size, and I buy it. I have a whole closet full of clothes that don't fit because I refuse to spend any more time in a clothing store trying things on.
You're my wife.
Oh my goodness.
She goes and buys things, and it's like, you gonna try that on? No.
I think Goodwill loves it when I come rolling up. They're like, oh, look at that. Marlo, he's here. We're getting brand new clothes today.
Well, Wendy yells at me all the time for not utilizing my time well. So, because if I'll go to the store, and I don't like going to the store to go clothes shopping, and especially pants. I hate buying pants. And I have to try things on. And she views that as a waste of time. So she'll buy something and just bring it home. It's like, hope it fits. I don't know. Things fit you differently, right? It's kind of like if you order something online and you know it's coming from China, you order one size bigger.
Well, and when it comes to clothes for me, I'm a little taller than the average person. Not crazy tall, but a little taller.
I think you wear short sleeves a lot.
I do, yeah. Because that is an issue for me. They do not make, a standard cut.
Sleeves aren't long enough.
I cannot get sleeves long enough.
I have long arms. Sleeves aren't long enough.
So it's so funny when I go in and get measured. Like, I'm sure you run into this then too. You get measured for a tux and they pull out the 3-foot thing to measure your arms, and they're like, oh, they actually have to take a mark and then go from there. Yeah. I'm holding my arms out as I'm doing that, right? Because my arms are too long. Anyway, so I always have to, I'm just making the habit to buy things that have the T at the end. So it means for tall, right? Oh my goodness. So I'm in JCPenney's in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago, and I run across my size in talls, and I'm like, oh, really? I don't have to buy this online? I mean, I'm just like, I'm like, holy cow. And there's a couple colors I like.
A lot too, because when something's on sale, it's like, well, I'm going to need that. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Especially with clothes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like shoes. It's like I hit clearance racks for shoes. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I've got 2 pair of tennis shoes, but in a year and a half when they're worn out, those now fit. And I got a really good deal on those. She hates it when I do that.
Well, these were marked at $20. I go check out, they're $50.
What?
Well, they didn't have the talls were not on sale.
Oh, you're kidding me.
So then
that's discrimination.
Yeah. I'm used to that though. But anyway, I end up buying them, and then I take them home and I try them on. And it's like Omar, the tent manufacturer, made these things. I'm like, holy cow, I might be large, but I'm not this big.
If you have any questions or want to suggest topics for future shows, visit thetechranch.com and send us your thoughts. You can also listen to past episodes and watch exclusive interviews not featured on the radio show. Be sure to follow Marlo and Steve on social media by clicking the links at thetechranch.com. Until next time, keep exploring the world of living with technology. The Tech Ranch.
You're tuned to the Tech Ranch. I'm Steve Bakken along with Marlo Anderson, our guru of geek, who is out of the studio right now. But we got a special guest with us, Jake Andino, joining us. We're going to talk about the nexus of comedy and technology. And Jake, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So I want to back up a little bit because you're a comedian by trade, but that's not where you started. You actually started in well, I'll let you tell the story. Kind of an interesting space.
Yeah, thank you. I started, by trade. I've been in the technology consulting industry really my whole career, over 20 years. And that said, I didn't want to start there. Being from as a first generation Indian, having Indian parents, there was a stereotype that at least fit my family. It was like, Jake, you're going to be a doctor or an engineer. And it was one of those things where it was like, what about comedy, Dad? I have these stories and send me to LA. And that was my first business case I put together. It was like, college costs this much, rent in LA is this much, it's much less. But his response was, Jake, there's no couches in LA. And I'm like, Dad, there's couches in LA. I'm pretty sure I can, and he's always touting how amazing his couch is. So he's just like, Jake, why would you go all the way to LA? Just right here. And it's like, okay, I guess I'm going to go become an engineer. And it's happening.
So the nuance of comedy, though, is about experiences. Now you apply that in a comedic or a humorous way. Being an engineer, and I've worked with engineers in the past and engineering firms as on the business consulting side of stuff. And for me, engineers are very brilliant people, but they tend to be cubicle people. They're box people. This is their space. And very few engineers, the real good ones, I think the real good ones are the ones that can get out of that space and see the bigger picture. And not all engineers can do that. The comedic side kind of kicks your butt out of the box.
Yes. It's especially, having, so my degree's in computer science, and then I went right into consulting. It was, very high level consulting in terms of, clients were C-level executives. I was in it. And it was definitely a shock in terms of, the environment that's created is, of course, as you said, very serious, and there is a box, involved. But at the end of the day, the comedy, soul or the comedian inside was always trying to break out, and about 7 years ago, I had a number of nightmares. The third one, I found myself disoriented. I was in the bathroom and the nightmares were the same. I was really old. I didn't do it. I didn't do something and I had to do it. And so I just took some time off. I just started writing.
So out of nightmares and night terrors come comedy.
Come comedy. Yes. When you see yourself as like a 90-year-old person full of regret, you're like, let's not have that happen. So whatever that is. So I just started writing and I ended up finishing a romantic comedy feature script, that I'm really excited about. And that was just one of the goals, was just get my comedy out there. I started
nightmares to romantic comedy.
Yes.
That's an interesting love story, I have to say.
Yeah. And to your point of experiences, the experiences drive the story. And so now that you're a little older and you have a lot of experiences, you have a lot to say, so the comedy, and that, especially the movie itself, it's the intersection of, it's basically country music meets Bollywood, It's two best friends trying to find love.
Oh, I can't wait to see this. When's this getting produced?
Hopefully next year. That's the goal. I mean, of course, everything happening in the industry, puts some pressures on it, but then next year is the goal to really get this out there. And so it's like one of those things where it's like, well, then you work backward from that. I want to be in this movie. I'm hoping to act in it. I finished acting at Second City in Chicago. That's where I'm from. And then it became, let's do stand up. Let's get my stories up.
Supertalk 1270.
Welcome to August 3rd on the National Day calendar. Today, we're basking in the glow of beautiful blooms and savoring a refreshing summer favorite.
It's National Sunflower Day. Sunflowers are not just known for their striking appearance and tall stature. They also have a fascinating history. Did you know that sunflowers were cultivated by Native Americans as early as 3000 BC? They used sunflowers for food, oil, dye, and even medicinal purposes. Sunflowers are heliotropic, meaning they turn their heads to follow the sun from east to west throughout the day. This unique behavior is known as solar tracking. Today, sunflowers continue to inspire us with their vibrant beauty and resilience. So take a moment to appreciate these golden wonders, whether in a field, a bouquet, or even as a symbol of positivity in your life.
I didn't know I was heliotropic.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, follow the sun. I love it. I love sunflowers, and you know what sunflowers are like around where I live, right?
Just beautiful fields and fields of them.
Yeah, it's amazing. And this day is brought to you by the state of North Dakota. So thank you, North Dakota. From golden petals to juicy treats, let's celebrate National Watermelon Day. Watermelon is a quintessential summer fruit, perfect for hot days and picnics. Watermelons have been cultivated for over 5,000 years, with their origins tracing back to the deserts of Africa. In ancient Egypt, watermelons were placed in the tombs of pharaohs to nourish them in the afterlife. Today, watermelons are grown in over 100 countries, enjoyed for their sweet, hydrating goodness. So whether you slice them, dice them, blend them into a smoothie, indulging in watermelon is like taking a bite out of history and summer combined.
Do you eat watermelon? Is that
oh my goodness,
like a top fruit for you?
Well, I wouldn't say top fruit, but when it's there, I eat it. I love watermelon.
I feel like watermelon is one of those fruits I have to eat in the summer.
Yeah, it is one of those things on a hot summer day, on a picnic or whatever. It's like it has to be there. It's just part of it.
It just wouldn't be right.
I agree.
I'm LaToya Johnson.
And I'm Marlo Anderson.
Thank you for joining us on our journey to celebrate every day.
Until next time, keep celebrating.
Welcome to the School for Startups Minute with Jim Beach.
One of the great things about gratitude is that when you practice it, it helps others. When I express my gratitude, it helps me and the person that I am thinking about feel better. Both parties win. We have been talking this week about how to include more gratitude in your life. In just a second, I'll give you another tip on how to feel better.
Are you ready for the Corporate Transparency Act, the new federal disclosure law for nearly every LLC and corporation?
Failing to file means penalties of $10,000 and 2 years in jail.
I'm Garrett Sutton.
And I'm Ted Sutton.
We're the father-son legal team at Corporate Direct.
And we're here to help with all your filings.
Visit us at corporatedirect.com to learn how to avoid the penalties.
Or how to set up an LLC the right way.
That's corporatedirect.com. Get a free 15-minute consult.
I have a friend who is well known for birthday cards and thank you notes. It started when he had a corporate secretary to help him. But even in his retirement, he sends 15 to 20 birthday cards a month. He is also known to send thank you notes for even the smallest events. If you go to dinner with him, he will write a thank you note for the great conversation. If you pay, he will write an even longer and more generous note. Express your gratitude. It helps you and those who receive the notes.
Supertalk 1270. KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union studio.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. In the Venezuelan capital of Caracas, protesters filling the streets over the nation's contested election. President Nicolas Maduro has declared victory, but the main opposition party says it has copies of most voting tallies proving that they won. The U.S. is recognizing Edmundo Gonzalez as the winner. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin revoking the controversial plea deal for the alleged mastermind of the 9/11 terror attacks and two of his accomplices, putting the death penalty back on the table. Austin says he's taking over responsibility for the cases. We've learned a Frontier pilot was arrested before passengers boarded his flight Thursday at George Bush International Airport in Houston. According to the Houston police, the pilot, identified as Seymour Walker, was wanted on an assault family violence warrant. Frontier says the flight was canceled. And at the Paris Games, runner Sha'Carri Richardson placing second in the semifinal and advancing to the final later today. This is ABC News. A surprise move by the Secretary of Defense in the 9/11 plea deal involving the accused mastermind of the 9/11 attacks and two alleged accomplices. ABC's Whit Johnson.
A stunning reversal. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin revoking the controversial plea deal for the alleged mastermind of the 9/11 terror attacks and two of his accomplices, putting the death penalty back on the table. In a surprise memo to retired Brigadier General Susan Escalier, who approved the deal, Austin saying he was taking over responsibility for the cases, writing, "In light of the significance of the decision, responsibility for such a decision should rest with me."
4 wildfires in Colorado raging, scorching 11,000 acres, killing one, forcing thousands of evacuations. The quarry fire is being investigated as an arson, and authorities have asked for tips. In California, forecasts of thunderstorms and lightning have made fighting the Part Fire treacherous, with nearly 6,400 firefighters on the scene. Fire spreading more than 624 square miles. Dave Packer, ABC News.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Supertalk 1270, Bismarck area weather.
With your forecast, I'm Corey Hartman. Sunshine and hot today. A high near 90 degrees and north winds about 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, 61. Showers and storms possible on your Sunday. Otherwise, partly sunny and windy with a high near 80 degrees. For Sunday night, showers and storms, 59. Pick up a bottle of Grandpa's barbecue sauce before summer ends and get grilling. Grandpa'sBBQShop.com. Currently 83 degrees.
From ABC Sports, I'm Joey Waller. Paris Olympics today after trailing at the quarter. The U.S. blasting Puerto Rico 104-83. Anthony Edwards scores 26. Team USA ends group play top seeded at 3-0. Other American Olympians earlier, women's gymnastics, Simone Biles winning the gold in vault while Jade Carey earns bronze. Biles' third gold these games, 7th lifetime. Men's gymnastics and pommel horse, Steven Narasic gets bronze. Women's soccer quarters. Team USA survives Japan in extra time 1-0 and a Trinity Rodman goal. Men's skeet shooting, Vincent Hancock gold, Connor Prince silver. Men's tennis doubles, Americans Austin Krajicek and Rajiv Ram claiming silver. Elsewhere, Cardinals linebacker B.J. Ojulari suffering a season-ending torn ACL. Against the Reds last night, after entering the game without a win this year or any career starts into the 9th inning, Giants lefty Blake Snell does this.
Yastrzemski has it! And Blake Snell has pitched the first no-hitter of his brilliant career.
That is Giants TV during a 3-0 San Fran win. Snell with 11 Ks and 3 walks.
Complete game, shutout, no-hitter, leave me alone. He doesn't go 9, doesn't go 8. You know how good that feels? Just did it. Leave me alone.
During last night's Blue Jays win over the Yankees, manager Aaron Boone benching second baseman Gleyber Torres after 3 innings for failing to hustle, reducing his would-be double into a single. Poor effort has been an issue for Torres. Boone reacting.
The reality is, as simple as I felt like it was what I needed to do in the moment, and he and I have spoken about it, and we're going to move on from it.
Right now, American League top 4, same teams. Yankees lead the Blue Jays 4-1. Aaron Judge does it again. A 2-run shot, his baseball best 41st homer. Joey Waller, ABC Sports.
Summer is heating up, just like the deals at Omaha Steaks. From perfectly aged steaks to juicy burgers, Omaha Steaks is your summer grilling headquarters. Shop the hotter than fire sale at omahasteaks.com for exclusive unconditional money-back guaranteed packages starting at $99. Plus, get an extra $10 off with promo code QUALITY at checkout. Visit omahasteaks.com, code QUALITY for an extra $10 off. Shop the hotter than fire sale today before these deals go up in smoke.
Omaha Steaks, America's original.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
program schedule, updated local news, sports, contests, and more. Visit today at supertalk1270.com.
Portions of the following program are pre-recorded.
Welcome to the Tech Ranch, where we explore the world of living with technology. Get ready to take a deep dive into the latest gadgets, apps, and innovations with your hosts, the Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson, and his trusty co-host, Steve Bakken. Join us on this exciting journey, and don't forget to visit thetechranch.com for even more exclusive content. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Marlo and Steve to the Tech Ranch.
You don't like all the Popeye stuff all over the place around here?
I love Popeyes.
Popeye.
Oh, Popeye.
The spinach-eating sailor.
Gotcha.
With strong arms.
Yeah.
Did you know? Oh, everyone's like, these two guys, they are never.
Popeye Day,
yeah, National Popeye Day. It's brand new National Day. Was out a couple weeks ago. And the company that owns Popeye, the IP, the intellectual property, sent us a bunch of stuff.
I like
that's why.
Too.
Yes, not the same company though, right? That's funny how you can have stuff like that. That's a great example of have an IP that's an animated figure and a restaurant. Anyway,
totally not related.
We have all kinds of Popeye stuff around here right now because of the National Day, and they sent us. So that's why it's all here. But misinformation, right? We live in
I like the Bluto jean jacket with the matching jeans.
Some of the items they sent us are incredible.
Crazy.
This decorated
I don't know how you're going to fit into 34s.
A younger version of myself would have wore those pants. They're at least the right length.
Are they?
Yeah. So I was impressed by that. And
34, 38s?
I could.
Maybe 38, 34. I could fit into.
Maybe I've grown a little more. I don't know. That could be my new weight loss.
You're going to save money there.
Thing is, just fit into my old clothes.
That might work.
So we are talking about saving money, by the way, everybody, using technology. I'm not sure when we'll get back to that topic, but we are actually attempting to get there. But you brought up, so the Popeye thing.
The Tech Fashion Ranch.
So what was Popeye famous for eating?
Spinach.
Okay.
Not a fan of spinach.
No.
But I am a fan of Swiss chard, which is closely related, but it's a little milder.
Good to know.
I grow it in the summers, a lot of it.
It looks like spinach?
Yeah.
Interesting. I've never heard of it.
It grows like a weed. Swiss chard?
Yeah.
You've never had Swiss chard?
No.
Good stuff.
Interesting. Yeah. So when Popeye came out, I mean, there was a time when, adults would try to get their children to eat spinach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then Popeye comes out and, of course, he eats a can of spinach and grows muscles immediately and all this other stuff. And they had put out I think it was iron. There was 8% iron or whatever in spinach, and that was causing this stuff, right?
Remember they were touting Pop-Tarts as being healthy?
Yes.
They're fortified with iron.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, the little known fact about this, and that spinach is great for building muscle or whatever, is that in all the advertising pieces that were done for Popeye originally, somebody misplaced the decimal point.
What?
And it wasn't like this crazy amount of iron in spinach because the decimal point was in the wrong spot. It was 0.8 or point whatever it was, right? Not 8 point whatever, right? So I don't remember what the exact numbers were, but it was a decimal point failure. But to this day, nobody really knows about it. Welcome to the trivia portion of the Tech Ranch. What vegetable do you eat to make your eyes better?
Carrots.
Wrong.
Well, that's what we're told.
This is a great story. So in World
That's
War...
why Bugs Bunny could see the Elmer Fudd coming.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Carrots.
World War I. We have Germany is Germany, right? Who was in World War I?
Yeah, Germany, France, England.
Thank you.
Us, Canada.
Anyway, England is being devastated by Germany, but they have ace pilots. What were they called? Help me out here.
Pilots?
Yes, but there was like the Royal Air Force or something like that. But they called their aces something that I'm just not recalling. Right?
An ace.
Anyway, they had a pretty good percentage of kills over like German pilots, right? I mean, they were much better at this, right?
They carrots.
So what they did is they created this flyer, and this was very popular back in early days of when you could disseminate a bunch of information through airplanes. They'd go over countries and they'd drop thousands of leaflets, right? People would pick them up and read them, right? And they had started this rumor that the reason the British pilots were so much better than everybody else was because they had eaten carrots for many years. And they had such a head start because carrots improved eyesight so much that they became, and it actually worked because the German pilots would actually see the English coming and they would actually go the other way because they were afraid to fight them. Isn't that something?
That's amazing.
And that rumor, that propaganda has never disappeared. To this day, if you were to ask anybody what vegetable improves eyesight, they will tell you carrots. And there might be some truth to it. I mean, if you eat some vegetables, I'm sure there's something in carrots that'll help your eyesight, but it probably also helps you look better because you'll get a little orange glow to you after a while. That actually can happen if you eat too many carrots.
Is that why your hair's orange?
That's correct. I love carrots, by the way. So, and my eyesight is not that great. No. So there you go. And I'm not getting the entire gist of this story right, but there is something about a propaganda effort during World War I that convinced many of the forces that were fighting the Allied forces that they're just superior to you because they've just been eating carrots for all these years and it improved their eyesight. So I think it's hilarious.
So
has nothing to do with saving money, though.
Sauerkraut have to.
Oh, interesting. I think sauerkraut's more about mood.
Okay.
I mean, don't you get a little more sour after you eat sauerkraut?
I know there were gas attacks with World War I. Germans like sauerkraut.
So bad, it's not funny.
Got to be connected, right?
Somehow or another, yes. The fermentation of sauerkraut. Hey, this would make a great gas.
Damn hun.
Have you ever had sauerkraut with cream? I don't know how Alice and her sisters made this stuff, but there was like something noodla or something. But there's sauerkraut and bacon bits and cream, and it actually is kind of sweet.
Yeah, it is
right. What is that stuff called?
I forget what it's called, but it's really
we'll have to ask Alice that. I'm actually hungry for it now.
Thanks for staying with us on the Tech Ranch. Let's rejoin Marlo and Steve as they guide us through the fascinating world of technology.
And welcome back to the Tech Ranch, everybody. Since I snuck into the studio here, we have yet to talk about technology. A little bit. I guess how to save money on the internet.
Saving money.
Fries. That's right. So during the break, I snuck out. Alice is in the other room here. I said, all right, what's this stuff called with sauerkraut? And it's Nifla and kraut. That's it. I'm going on and on and on about it. And there's just definitely.
There's a lot of variations of doing Nifla.
So krautnip.
Or what?
Krautnip.
Krautnip
is what the German word is for it.
It's like it too?
Well, see, that's where I was going with that. So, is there a relationship here to catnip?
I don't know.
I was watching this TikTok video. Boy, we get on directions here. This cat climbing up this stairwell, 30 steps, right? And then is jumping from that to try to get on this roof. And this guy is doing a voiceover because it misses. It gets to the edge and falls off and then falls down and hits the ground.
Down to 8.
That's exactly what he was doing. 8 lives. The cat comes running around, goes right up these stairs again, tries again, bang on the ground, comes back around, goes up a little onto the side there, jumps again, slides down, and now there's like a close wire or something that's hanging there, hits that, and this cat does like this crazy 8 tumbles in the air, hits the ground. He goes 6'5". I'm like, and the cat continues to do this. It was
cat.
Hilarious.
You're easily amused.
Well, of course I'm easily amused by stuff like that. All right, back to saving money on the internet. Or on the internet, using your devices. But I guess you can save money on the internet too. Save money on your internet service provider.
That's one.
All right, so you can buy your equipment instead of rent it. Because you'll save basically a year's worth of rent will pay for your equipment. So if you're not going to upgrade for the next 2, 3, 4 years, which most people don't, you will save a lot of money by doing that. Actually, probably $500 to $700.
And most equipment, you can be pretty reassured it's going to last well over a year.
Yeah, and you can I would just look at the warranty on the stuff, if nothing else. I mean, most electronics have a year. But most routers have 2 or 3 or 4 years on them. I mean, if you pay a little bit extra and get a really good one.
How much of that is fear factor, though? Because people maybe not understand. A lot of people will have that router and, through their cable provider, it's just hooked up. And
right.
They don't know the ins and outs of it. They don't want to know. They just want to be able to turn the computer on and be done.
I believe there's a lot to that.
A lot.
An extreme amount to that, actually. And it's really not that difficult to do. I mean, it's probably a DIY project that if you spend a half hour doing this, that you'll save $500 to $800 in the next couple of years.
Google it. Well, I can't. I don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe put the equipment in before you return the stuff that you rented. That might be a good way to do that. Yeah. So there's that. The other thing is that I know like where you and I live, Steve, it's a lot different than people maybe listening to us in New York or Cleveland or whatever, right? But because they have choices. There's 3 or 4 or 5 ISPs. You can just pick up the phone and say, hey, I want to switch service. And they're competitive that way, right? Everybody wants everybody else's service.
See, where we're at, there's 2.
If you're lucky. They're apples and oranges even in comparison.
But you can also go the satellite route, which is an option.
But now it's apple, oranges, and mangoes.
Think of a 5th one, but now you're looking at territorial stuff too, where, in big markets, you can go Comcast or this or
that. There's 3 or 4 or 5 services that are available to anybody.
You have Midco, and or if you want to break out your internet, you can do that. But it's territorial, like Beck Communications.
It is.
I mean, that's but it's like, okay.
But they have their territory.
We're in this territory,
right,
and you're in this territory.
And
that's not the case in big markets.
Better not lap over, I mean, at all. I mean, I think there is some progress being made. I think like where you and I are broadcasting from right now, I think Beck is going to be able to, they've been working towards coming into our market here because we're considered a rural town. So they're making some strides towards that. So we might have some competition in the cable space. However, there's other choices that maybe most people don't know about. So if your cell phone service, for example, 5G is pretty fast. And, as far as what you get for service on your phone, right? So you might be able to, and places like AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile, they all offer like in-home or carry-about type of Wi-Fi routers that you can just put in your home, and then you can stream your services or get internet that way too. Works off your cell service. The downside probably to that is that again, you have to really compare things here. Is that service fast enough? Because, it's not going to be as fast probably as the best tier on your cable network system, because a lot of that is
hardwired. A lot of it's fiber.
It's hardwired and it's fiber, right? And fiber moves at the speed of light.
Turning it into glass.
Yes. So, but with that said, most wireless systems have fiber going to their towers. So they still have that significant speed. It's just how much they can get over the air, So, but that is something to look at. And if you're shopping around and maybe you don't use a ton of internet, those are the people who really have options. If you're the occasional user, maybe you stream a program occasionally, but you don't really watch a lot of TV, or you watch it on your cable system yet, or over the air, which over the air has a lot of options nowadays. You can get a little antenna and put them back on your TV. I mean, even here, we have, 28 stations, I think, over the air right now? How many?
It's up to 30.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And I need to do this. I have not looked, but, I mean, I love, MeTV. I would watch that all the time if we had it available.
Grit. If you like old cowboy movies.
Grit? Yeah. And that's over the air as well?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And these antennas are cheap. You can get them for $10 or $20.
Well, we just flipped over one TV in a sunroom that I had just over the air, and because it didn't cost anything else to do it. And there's a couple networks I miss that just are not on cable. Grit's one of them.
Interesting.
I miss my Grit.
So that is another way that you could possibly, especially if you don't watch a ton of TV, you could just pick up a $20 antenna, attach it to the back of your television, or however you want to route it, and there you go. You're saving yourselves quite a bit of money.
And as opposed to some streaming, you get your local channels for news.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
You're listening to The Tech Ranch, where technology comes alive. Let's dive back into the conversation with Marlo and Steve. And don't forget to check out thetechranch.com for more.
So, welcome back, everybody. We're talking about how you save money on technology. We're slowly getting there.
Slowly morphing into it?
I think you've convinced me to, after we're done with the show today, I'm going to go out and pick up a couple of OTA antennas, digital antennas, and put them on a couple TVs at home. It's not like it's hard.
A bunch of different ones, though.
There are.
And
you kind of get what you pay for with these things.
Yeah, one of the things you have to look at is the range.
Yes.
Because there's the flat panel, there's, it's not rabbit ears anymore.
Right. And there's amplified ones versus not amplified.
Yes. And I would say make sure you get one with at least the 100-mile range, 70 to 100-mile range.
So even if you live in town.
Yes. Well, you got to remember that the tower, so for our community.
Oh, that's true. The tower is 20 miles away or 30 miles away yet. I never thought about that. That's true.
Depending on where you're at in your home, some of the bigger ones that if you can tap in, put one up in your attic.
Yep.
And tap into that, the signal's pretty good because it's less stuff in the way.
Right.
If you're putting them on each individual TV, that's different. I would say get a little bit stronger antenna for that. You can always put the antenna up outside of your house as well if you want to mount something permanently on that.
Right. And that would probably get you the best reception possible.
Best reception possible.
The thing with digital, though.
The attic ones, though, I really like the attic ones because you don't have to go outside and mount something on the roof permanently or the house permanently. You put it up inside and it's just there.
The big difference between like what we used to get with rabbit ears and today is that in an analog world, the reception could vary dramatically. I mean, you could be at a certain point and still watch The Price is Right, but it would be staticky or whatever. But over here,
you could still watch it.
But you could still watch it. If you were 2 miles closer to the antenna that's broadcasting or whatever, it could be much better, right? In digital, you either get it or you don't.
Nothing.
There's no thing. So with that said, I'm just kind of throwing this out, and I want you to comment on this. I mean, I've been through the dollar store and I've seen digital antennas at the dollar store. I mean, So I don't have any antennas on my stuff at all. I do live in town. The tower, I'm guessing, is 20 or 25 miles to the south of town, right? From where we're at in Mandan here, in Mandan, North Dakota.
See, now I had one in the sunroom and one in a garage. And this is me being cheap.
That's okay. That's what I want to hear.
In the day, because remember when they had the regular rabbit ears?
Yes.
And then you could get the little amplifier box for that.
Well, I know where you're going with this
which
now.
Is the digital side.
But you don't have that choice, which you've already say anymore. But go ahead.
Those rabbit ears still worked. So in the garage, I still had the rabbit ears up.
This is how many years ago, though?
Currently,
you're going to tell me you're getting signal on rabbit ears?
Yes. It's the rabbit ear box, and yes. There
has to be some type of digital conversion going on somewhere.
Well, they're the digital rabbit ears.
Oh, okay.
But it's the first generation when they first came out.
Okay.
I have a couple sets of those.
Okay.
And that's what I was using. And now I switched one over to that flat panel and
so they actually, because the marketing behind that is genius.
Okay, but I might be a little creative here too, because me being cheap and not wanting to throw one away or overinvest in something else. Did you know that you can daisy chain antennas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much what I did. It's like, the little flat panel one that I got set up there and the amplifier booster piece here that worked back in the day and the rabbit ears.
As long as you don't mind the cable or whatever that you're going to run through.
On top of a shelf in the garage, it doesn't matter.
Then that's okay.
It works.
Yeah.
Works great.
But like I said, I mean,
actually, I get better signal in the garage than I did in the sunroom one because there was one of the towers that didn't pick up, but the one in the garage, just on the other side of the house, less interference, it did.
Well, and a lot of that too, not to get real technical here, but if you are,
God forbid we get technical on Tech Ranch.
So are you running like coax cable between?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of coax cable that's not shielded.
Right.
And what that does is it actually can boost your antenna a little bit because it's not shielded.
It'll act as a part of the antenna.
Right. Most cabling nowadays, if you get any cabling of quality, are shielded, meaning they have this kind of metal wrap that goes around them. And the reason they do that is so that it doesn't cause interference to other things in your place. So if you didn't have shielded cabling,
I got really good TV reception, but my pacemaker's not working.
That's
it is.
Could be possible, yeah. Or
why'd the garage door go up when I change the channel? I don't know.
Or
I'll get that channel when the microwave's on.
Or when your cordless landline goes off and everybody's TV goes off in the neighborhood, because they're all on unshielded cable and you're all on the same frequency. These are the weird things that used to happen all the time.
But going back to the old analog versus digital, and I think I've told you the story before. I don't know if my grandparents ever realized, because I was reading about my grandparents, I don't know if they ever realized why I had two black and white TVs in my bedroom.
Yes.
Because
this is where I thought you were going originally with
I could tune the picture in on one and the volume in on the other, and I got free HBO back in the day. Remember when they had
I remember it well.
Cylinders, those filters you put on your cable?
Yes.
And people had the full package would have like 8 of these things.
Yes.
It's like it runs against the entire wall, like behind your TV.
And you were smart and you just put 2 TVs together to make
I just put 2 TVs together.
Yeah.
And I saw free boobs.
Yeah.
Because it was HBO back in the days.
Can you say that on the air?
Yeah.
You just did.
I just outed myself. I thought it was awfully creative back in the day.
Now we know what kind of person Steve is. Yeah, what he was after on television back in the day. All right. Anyway.
Junior high school boy, what do you expect?
If I went to the dollar store and picked up a couple of antennas, I'm out a couple bucks. This is kind of where I was getting. Is that
spend a lot of money on an antenna?
You can. I mean, if you're talking about the kind that you're talking about, you could spend a lot of money. But if they're at the dollar store, is it
panel boosted, all kinds of stuff.
Is it worth the dollar to try it and see if it works where you're at? I think it's worthwhile because if it works, then you're not spending the $20 or $30 or $50 or $100 on something. If it doesn't work, I guess it's in your next garage sale.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? So that's what I would recommend to people, and that's what I'm going to do this weekend.
I had to throw the rabbit ears in at some point.
There's got to be a dollar store around here.
And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to
shot. I mean,
that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to try that.
And actually, I think I might get a switcher because I miss grit.
Well, there you go. It's a reason to get one.
Welcome back to the Tech Ranch. We're thrilled to have you with us as we continue exploring living with technology alongside Marlo and Steve.
We're going to get serious about how else you can save money.
Yahoo!
Oh, I haven't heard that for a while.
Remember Yahoo Serious?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yahoo Serious.
Yahoo?
I actually went to a comedy show of his.
Did you really?
Yeah. He was,
the only film, wasn't it?
I'm thinking of Yakov Smirnoff.
Oh,
Smirnoff, yeah. He was down in
Yahoo
France.
Serious was the Australian comic.
That's right.
Guy with the crazy hair.
Right.
I think he did one movie. That was Yahoo Serious.
I guess could have been. I wonder if Yakov and Yahoo got together sometime. What kind of comedy show that would be? You're not even commenting on this.
No.
All right. Moving on. You never went to Yakov Smirnoff?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
I think I saw his HBO special for free. Black and white.
That's funny. That's a good comment. All right. Saving money. So I always talk about, I complain internally, I guess, when I look at my cell phone bill every month, because I think we're still paying a few $100 a month for our cell phones. But he's busy looking them up now. I'm like, I was wondering where you were disappearing behind the computer for there.
I think he only did one movie, and now I'm curious.
Okay.
Well, you know how I am with movies.
Yes, I know how you are with movies. So even though my phone costs, or my service between my wife and I cost a few $100 a month, it is the best investment I've ever made in anything. And, the first thing is GPS. What is your time worth? What is fuel worth, right? What did we used to do to get directions? I mean, you had to go buy a map, especially if you were traveling, and you were inevitably, you'd miss a turn, you'd do whatever. I'm not saying that GPS is the most wonderful thing in the world when it comes to this, because it makes mistakes too. But generally speaking, the amount of time and fuel that I save using GPS is pretty significant.
As long as it doesn't run you off a cliff.
I told you, they make mistakes sometimes.
Just have to be.
You're still looking up Yakov. What movie did he? You found it yet?
Young Einstein was the movie.
That's the movie that Yakov was in?
Yeah, Young Einstein.
I did not know this.
Kind of that spoof off of Einstein, but how do you not become a comedian when your parents' names are Terry and Alice Peed?
This is Yakov's parents?
That's Yakov. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
His parents.
Where were they from?
They're from Australia. Cardiff, Australia.
Okay.
His wife's name's Lulu. Pincus. He's 71. He was born in 1953.
Okay.
Young Einstein.
Thank you. I'm going to check that out now.
Yeah. He's got a mullet.
Also good to know.
Yeah.
For everybody who joins us thinking they're going to learn things about how to live with technology, you're at the wrong show, by the way. Boy, we've been on a tear lately. I mean, last week, how much did we talk about in the tech world last week? We had maybe one or two segments last week.
Let's see.
Oh, that's right.
We now have a cooking segment.
We do. We have a DIY, which kind of can be in that space. Yeah. Wow.
Well, if you
we've learned how Steve
do it yourself,
did HBO.
Yeah.
and now somebody from HBO is like,
Well, that was back in the 70s.
Well, HBO came out in 81, 82, 81.
Is it 81?
I bought my first television when HBO came out. And I bought that. I actually...
When did HBO come out?
Bet you it's 81.
No, November 8th, 1972 was the first television service to be directly transmitted to individual cable systems.
HBO?
HBO. November 8th, 1972. I knew it was in the 70s.
Wow. So maybe I'm thinking of MTV was 81 then. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. First video?
Yes. Video killed the radio star.
Yeah. The
Buggles, yes. I actually rented a hotel room so I could watch.
Are you serious?
We didn't have cable where I lived. So I had no choice if I was going to see the premiere of MTV. So I spent $25.
You was a cutting edge tech geek even back then.
I spent $20. I think it was $20. No. Dakota Inn and Minot was $19.99. I remember that well. That was their going rate for a room, and they had cable television. And I remember calling them and asking if their cable was going to have MTV. Oh yeah, we'll have MTV. So
I need to make a reservation.
I made a reservation. Yeah, paid cash. So I could sit up all night and watch MTV. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I had HBO, by the way, because I didn't even care about the movie so much. But in between, remember if you remember that time, they would show music video,
right?
And that was the inspiration, kind of, to launch MTV, was because HBO was putting some. They were giving these videos some airplay.
I could see you a big Yo MTV Raps guy.
Yo, yeah, nah.
I was more the headbanger.
When they got away from actually showing music.
Yeah, remember when
MTV actually showed music? And
used to show music videos.
Yeah, big fan of Duran Duran's videos all the time. I was there for the premiere of Thriller by Michael Jackson. Ooh. That was a big deal.
Like that was the premiere?
Well, I mean on MTV.
Oh.
Yeah. That was a huge deal. And when they launched it, they were like, I think MTV for the first day or for the first 24 hours, it came out like it was almost like a television premiere for a series.
Is that when you learned to moonwalk?
I actually learned that when I watched Michael Jackson in '82 at the Grammys. When he
I remember that Grammys.
When he sang some of the old stuff with his brothers, and then he was like, I really like the old stuff, but I like the new stuff better. And then he broke out in the Billie Jean. Did the moon. Oh my goodness. That was, they talk about that moment in the Grammys as the best moment ever in the Grammys.
I know where I was. I was in our kitchen watching it on our kitchen.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing that you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was one of those little moments because, you always remember when something catastrophic happens. And where were you?
Yeah.
I know where I was at when Elvis died. I know where I was at when the space shuttle blew up. I know where I was at when Billie Jean came on the Grammy.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's pretty cool.
If you have any questions or want to suggest topics for future shows, visit thetechranch.com and send us your thoughts. You can also listen to past episodes and watch exclusive interviews not featured on the radio show. Be sure to follow Marlo and Steve on social media by clicking the links at thetechranch.com. Until next time, keep exploring the world of living with technology. The Tech Ranch.
Supertalk 1270.
This is Ag Issues with Neil Roberts.
Welcome to another edition of Ag Issues. Our guest this week is NDSU weed specialist Joe Eichley out of Fargo. And Joe, let's talk weeds and soybeans today. With all the wet weather, how has the residuals looked?
We're continuing to apply more residual herbicides in our soybeans, particularly going after problematic weeds like kochia across the whole state, and water hemp, certainly in the eastern half of the state, plenty of issues with that weed as well. Most years, we're kind of begging for a half-inch of rainfall within a week of planting and applying that residual herbicide. And this year, everyone's gotten at least that, and many people have gotten much more rainfall than that. So the top question has been, in many cases, we've had 6 to 10 plus inches of rain. Does that mean my residual herbicide is gone? And now we've had enough time to go back and look at treatments, and in large, those residual products really held up, really gave us a good foundation for weed control, and have really helped out our post-emergence applications by giving us such a good window of residual weed control in our soybean crop.
All right, good stuff, Joe. Hey, we'll have more on soybean crop injury when we come back.
From minor dents to major collisions, auto repair can be a major pain. At Jerome's Collision Center, we get that. That's why we have built the most advanced collision center in the region. Getting you back on the road quickly and guaranteeing the highest quality workmanship is our specialty, and no one does it better. Jerome's Collision Center is committed to the community, and we're proud of the reputation we've earned over the years. Making your collision repair experience as hassle-free as possible is our primary goal. Check us out online at jeromescollision.com.
Nelly at the Skydancer Casino and Resort. Outdoors, Saturday, August 17th. Gates open at 7, concert at 8. 3-time Grammy-winning rap superstar live at the Skydancer Casino. Make it a weekend by booking your room now. Get your tickets for Nelly at SkydancerCasino.com.
Talking weeds and soybeans today with Joe Eichley. And Joe, how about a crop injury update?
So on the flip side of the coin of having really good weed control is we have had some soybean injury from these residual herbicides. And that's actually typical to be expected somewhere every year. We're just not used to seeing a lot of it because we don't get this much rain, and particularly the cool, prolonged conditions. And so while it's not really the best thing to look at, the good thing is these herbicides are metabolized by soybean. And so once we get the sunlight and the heat, they've largely been able to grow out of that early season injury. As long as the injury is basically non-existent when we start flowering, the crop's going to come out of it okay, and we'll have good yields.
All right, good stuff, Joe. Thanks for that. And that'll put a wrap on this report. Until next time, I'm Neil Roberts.
You've been listening to Ag Issues, brought to you in part by Jerome's Collision Center in Minot, by Skydancer Casino and Resort, where the sky's the limit, and by Bremer Bank. Contact Bremer for all of your ag banking needs.
Talk of the town. Local, interesting. A lot of things going on with flood insurance in the Bismarck, Mandan area, and some things you need to know concerning the Missouri River, and some changes that have taken place. And, well, are you even going to be able to get flood insurance? Community events. Home Builders Association Parade of Homes going on. Started yesterday. We'll get the update on that as well this weekend on Supertalk 1270. Community organizations. I'm Steve Bakken along with Sarah Kelsch from the Bismarck Cancer Center. I want to talk about the mission and where the mission has gone for those that are served that are dealing with the cancer fight. What's going on in our community? That's Talk of the Town on Supertalk 1270. If you missed the show, check out the podcast on demand on the Supertalk 1270 mobile app.
Talk of the Town thanks our sponsors: Big Boy, Dakota Pharmacy, Benchmark Mortgage, Trademark Realty, Silver Ranch, and Runnings. Talk of the Town with Steve Bakken, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 on Supertalk 1270 and the free Supertalk 1270 mobile app.
I'm going to date myself right now because SCTV was some of my fondest middle school memories. Staying up late, and it's like, don't let your parents catch you watching SCTV. And then all of us kids would talk about what happened on SCTV on Monday morning at school. That was kind of every weekend was, and the talent that came out of SCTV from, well, just the Canadian stuff was unbelievable. But SCTV or Second City, they're still cranking out incredible talent.
Yeah.
So hearing you were part of that I'm impressed.
Thank you. No, it's a great program. It was amazing to go there, and I got really fortunate to get into their.
How'd you get in there?
You up front, you can just take a number of classes. They're just available. But as you get higher through the program, you have to start auditioning, and one of the, auditions, I laid it out there. I didn't think I was going to get, I think they only let like 10 people into the program. So I got in, and then that was a second sign. The first sign was just my script started winning awards around the world. It got into It's one at Barcelona. And
so the script came before SCTV.
They were kind of almost parallel tracks, and the script started winning. It got into the Austin Film Festival last year, which was one of the best weeks of my life. And then, I got into the big acting program. So then it was like, I got to get these stories out there. And I got a ton of funny stories and things that have happened to me. I think Three's Company, Jack Tripper, just an Indian version of that.
The Bollywood version.
Speaking of old school, that's as old, but and so.
All right, so I have to ask you, Mr. Roper or Mr. Furley?
No, we're going to stick with Jack.
Oh, okay.
Jack.
I just asked. I was a Roper guy myself. I love Don Knotts, but Mr. Furley it wasn't the same.
Well, Mr. Furley's facial expressions are legendary.
True.
I mean, and so I would have to, if I had to choose one of those two, I'll go with him. But yeah, and then then it was like, let's get into the stand-up world, and I really started performing and working on it, doing open mics and writing, and then I just saw a gap in the market. That's kind of where it landed, where it was like, it just feels like stand-up comedians, it's a growing field, and people are just kind of lost within it. It's just at least for me, experientially, I was just like, let's go to an open mic. Let's sit here. It's like you wait for a couple hours, you do the 5 minutes. Like, it's not connected. Everyone is just in their own wilderness, trying to find their way.
It's kind of scattershot.
Just throwing stuff out there. And that's kind of where, that's where I see a gap in the market. And that's where I started thinking about designing a platform. This was probably 4 years ago now, or 3 years ago now, a while back. And I just started kind of thinking about, how do I intersect those two, technology and comedy? How do I bring this field more to light? And think about the platform as almost, it's stand up in the palm of your hands. Essentially it's like, it's a platform that creates the user experience that's built on technology, and using comedy to enrich everyone's lives. And that's where my past experiences in corporate America, where I'm not saying there's a censorship, but there is you got to be really careful with what you say. And I feel like that's increasing. And I do believe in being open, being honest, and let's have some levity in our lives. I don't know, it feels like people
could all use a laugh.
This is the Pet Minute. I'm Steve Dale. Dear Steve, my cat Pumpkin is chewing on everything from phone lines to shoestrings. Emails desperate Donna in Florida, offering words to chew on next. Your dog loves going to the dog park and seeing his buddies. Maybe sometimes when you travel, he gets to hang out with friends at his favorite boarding facility. Social dogs like yours need more protection than most. By pairing Bordetella Protection, also known as kennel cough, with immunity against canine influenza, we can help ensure these dogs stay healthy. Merck Animal Health wants you to talk with your veterinarian about pairing up for protection with vaccines for your dog for kennel cough and the canine influenza virus. Don't wait. Vaccinate. Listener, Donna's cat is chewing on phone lines and shoestrings, and swallowing these sorts of things can mean emergency surgery. Satisfy the need with appropriate choices like cat grass. Ask your vet about CET dental chews, even gently warmed rawhide for dogs. Meanwhile, cover cords and wires with protectors. For the Pet Minute, I'm Steve Dale.
KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union studio.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Big storm brewing in the Caribbean and heading for Florida. Tony Mulkey, Director of Parks and Recreation for Tampa.
We've went from a tropical storm watch to a tropical storm warning, so we're doing everything we can to get residents prepared.
If it reaches tropical storm strength, it will be named Debbie. Israel's army says 2 of its airstrikes in the West Bank killed 9 Palestinian militants today. Iran saying it will retaliate for Israel's assassination of a Hamas leader in Tehran. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin revoking the controversial plea deal for the alleged mastermind of the 9/11 terror attacks and 2 of his accomplices. putting the death penalty back on the table. Austin says he's taking responsibility for the cases taking over. Julian Alfred of St. Lucia upsetting American star Sha'Carri Richardson for gold in the Paris Olympics 100 meter. Simone Biles winning another gold. Today's medal in the vault for her. That's her third gold in the Paris Games, 7th of her career. This is ABC News. The first week of the Paris Summer Olympics has belonged to Simone Biles, who's already won gold in the all-around with Team USA.
Simone Biles does it again, winning the Olympic gold medal in vault, her third gold in Paris. The gymnastics icon now has 7 lifetime Olympic golds and 10 career medals. During these games, Biles could challenge swimmers Katie Ledecky and Jenny Thompson for most Olympic golds ever by an American female athlete. Biles will still compete in balance beam and floor exercise. Joey Waller, ABC News.
In a new lawsuit, the Department of Justice is taking aim at TikTok and its parent company ByteDance over how it allegedly handles private information provided by minors. A law called COPA prohibits companies from collecting and retaining information from children under 13 without first meeting certain requirements like parental consent, and the DOJ says that TikTok violated that law. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code START to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code START for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code START for a 25 cents per gallon.
Supertalk 1270, Bismarck area weather.
With your forecast, I'm Corey Hartman. Sunshine and hot today. A high near 90 degrees and north winds about 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, 61. Showers and storms possible on your Sunday. Otherwise, partly sunny and windy with a high near 80 degrees. For Sunday night, showers and storms, 59. Pick up a bottle of Grandpa's barbecue sauce before summer ends and get grilling. Grandpa'sBBQShop.com. Right now, it's 84.
From ABC Sports, I'm Joey Waller. Paris Olympics today. After trailing at the quarter, the U.S. blasting Puerto Rico 104-83 earlier. Anthony Edwards 26 points, so Team USA ends group play top-seeded at 3-0. Other American Olympians, women's gymnastics, Simone Biles wins the gold medal in vault, while teammate Jade Carey earns bronze. Biles' third gold of these games, her 7th lifetime. Men's gymnastics and pommel horse Steven Nedorosik gets bronze. Women's soccer quarterfinals, Team USA survives Japan in extra time 1-0 on Trinity Rodman's goal. In track, Sha'Carri Richardson making the 100-meter final. In the mixed 4x400 relay, the U.S. settling for silver, beaten by the Netherlands. Men's shot put, gold for Ryan Krauser. Men's skeet shooting, Vincent Hancock takes gold, Connor Prince silver. Men's tennis doubles, how about Americans Austin Krajicek and Rajiv Ram claiming silver. Elsewhere, Cardinals linebacker B.J. Ojulari suffering a season-ending torn ACL. Against the Reds last night, after entering the game without a win this year or any career starts going into the 9th inning, Giants lefty Blake Snell doing this.
What a moment for Blake Snell. What a moment for the Giants, but what a job by number 7 tonight. Had it all going.
A no-hitter for Snell. Giants TV during that 3-0 San Fran win. Snell 11 Ks and 3 walks.
I was pumped up. Just a great time, yeah. I'm still kind of shocked, you know. I need to go home, let it sink in. But right now, yeah, I don't know. I'm still locked in. Game just ended, so.
Right now, American bottom 6. Yankees lead the Blue Jays 6-3. Aaron Judge is baseball best 41st homer. National League bottom 3. Cubs a 4-1 lead on the Cards. Joey Waller, ABC Sports.
Summer is heating up, just like the deals at Omaha Steaks. From perfectly aged steaks to juicy burgers, Omaha Steaks is your summer grilling headquarters. Shop the Hotter Than Fire sale at omahasteaks.com for exclusive, unconditional money-back guaranteed packages starting at $99. Plus, get an extra $10 off with promo code QUALITY at checkout. Visit omahasteaks.com, code QUALITY for an extra $10 off. Shop the Hotter Than Fire sale today before these deals go up in smoke.
Omaha Steaks, America's...
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Your destination for travel news and ideas. RM World Travel. Sunday morning, starting at 5 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app.
Portions of the following program are pre-recorded.
Welcome to the Tech Ranch, where we explore the world of living with technology. Get ready to take a deep dive into the latest gadgets, apps, and innovations with your hosts, the guru of geek, Marlo Anderson, and his trusty co-host, Steve Bakken. Join us on this exciting journey, and don't forget to visit thetechranch.com for even more exclusive content. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Marlo and Steve to the Tech Ranch.
So they walked in here and said, hey, you want a sandwich or some sushi? Oh, we're on break.
You're not a sushi fan.
Well, only if it's gas station sushi.
Cheetos, so I can't do my Cheetos today.
Were you proud of me? I said, no, I'll wait till I'm done. Yeah, I'm dedicated to sharing with people how to save money.
But disliking sushi is not very American.
Oh. And again, everybody, this it really is the Tech Ranch. What were we just talking about?
The technology behind making sushi.
We got off into a yak. Oh, how to cheat HBO. This is where I was going with that comment, by the way, since you cheated HBO. I believe
prior to the tangent we got into about the Grammys.
Yeah. That there is no limitation on when HBO can send you a bill. So
what?
My guess is they're going to take the fee for what HBO cost at that time and then add interest to that. And I'm sure they'll use the government type of IRS interest and penalty. So your $7 a month that you cheated HBO out of now is a lot of money.
I think it was like $6 a month back then.
What was the music club that we all belonged to?
Oh, the CBS Records?
It wasn't CBS. It was another one. CBS was one.
Yeah, it was one of them.
And I always used to love that because CBS, that one had nothing to do with the television.
For a penny, you can get 12 CDs.
There was another one, though. There was one that was more popular than that.
Before CBS.
They were at the same time. Yeah. I think I belonged to both of them, actually.
Did you really?
Maybe they're both still on my credit report.
Pay?
That's the thing. That's what I was getting to. Did anybody ever pay the extra stuff?
Ever paid?
Got your $8, and then they'd send you that one, and I'm like, they want me to pay $8.99 for this cassette? Are you serious? Yeah, but I loved my 12.
You got the 12 for a penny.
Yeah, for a penny. Yeah. All right. Enough. People want to know how they can use their cell phones, their smart devices to save money. We almost got into a discussion about GPS. So let's start there again.
Well, and the difference is, because you know how I drug my feet on unlimited data plans.
Yes.
Finally I'm on an unlimited data plan. So the ability to save money from a GPS or a Wi-Fi So,
well, that's kind of what I'm getting to here is like, what is your time worth? What is the fuel expense worth by always being able to drive exactly to where you need to go without having to, I missed my turn here. And then you drive an extra 6 blocks to make the next turn to get back to where you were at.
Yet I have no qualms driving across town to save 2 cents a gallon on gas.
Well, that is you, and that is your fault.
Totally.
Yeah. Do you do that? Do you really do that?
Yeah. My wife yells at me for that, but I'm like, you know what? I chalk it up to principle. If that business is going to support me by being 2 cents cheaper, I will drive across town to support that business.
That's interesting.
But it's only with gas.
I was at one of the club membership places the other night. What a fiasco that was.
It popped up on your GPS?
No, but I was just thinking about they have
gas.
They serve soda for 69 cents. And I'm like, how can they serve soda here for 69 cents for a glass? One size, I mean, it's just, where every place else is 2 to 3 times that more. Yes.
Yeah, they call it
soda pop.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was impressed by that too.
Well, yeah, but that's the loss leader. So you get people in. Every store's got a loss leader.
I do believe you're correct with that.
Like, what's on the end cap? What's the shill to get people in the
Right.
We'll take a little loss on that because we're going to make money in other places.
Yeah. We'll sell you the herb encrusted cooked chicken. What do they call those things? They sell chickens at the roasted chickens for like $5.
Yeah, that's loss leader.
That's incredible. But all the stuff that that you're not going to just serve chicken at a meal. I suppose some people probably just do that,
just chicken.
But I mean, you'll probably want some bread or maybe some potatoes or whatever else.
Roast your chickens about every other week.
Really?
Yeah. Go grab a couple, and
I can't imagine that they would make great sandwiches.
We'll do a meal off of it. And we'll cut some out for sandwiches.
Yeah, I can see that with the little mayo on there. It's almost like a turkey sandwich.
The rest get shredded up for dog food.
Oh, that's interesting. I bet the dogs love that too.
They love it.
That's interesting. Again, I was offered sandwiches and sushi, and now we're to
how you get to that club store? You put the address into your GPS.
Yes, and it gets you there. Exactly. You don't have to make a turn here.
Efficient way
That's
possible.
right. So you save money doing that too. The point I was getting at here is that your time and my time is worth a couple dollars. So I like the time savings, and I like the fuel savings aspect of GPS. So you have to think in this regard when you have these type of things. How do you book travel?
Actually, ask our listeners right now. It's like, what's your time worth if you're listening to the program?
Yeah, they're like, hopefully they're just wandering around the countryside because they have nothing better to do than to listen to us today, because we're obviously not giving them much good advice. Hopefully everybody's laughing at us.
This is how you save money, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to Marlo and I.
Exactly right. Yeah, how do you travel? How do you book a travel?
Online.
Do you ever do any last minute travel?
I try not to.
Because of the cost of it? Or,
but sometimes, and we're vested with one airline and the credit card associated with that.
Yeah.
So for the miles and stuff.
Yep.
And usually the last minute travel, if you have to go down that road, then it's, okay, what's the best deal we can get with just miles, and utilize the miles for that.
Gotcha.
And that works pretty well.
Yeah. Google Flights is a great way to do that too. I don't know if you've ever done that or
last
not.
Minute?
Well, any of them. Google Flights, like Orbitz and Travelocity and Expedia and all those, they compare, of course, airlines too, but not all the airlines are in there where like Google Flights actually pulls from everybody. And
well, I know there's a lot of people I know that, hey, where are you going on vacation? I don't know. And they'll go, whatever's the cheap flight last minute.
I'm going to start doing that too.
Yeah,
I'd love to just like on Saturday morning or Friday
travel
and just give me an inexpensive weekend someplace that I've never been before. And I would do that. That sounds exciting to me, actually. Maybe after I get my TV put together, after trying to get
new antennas.
Yeah, then I'll go on a trip.
And we're back back with the Tech Ranch. Get ready for more amazing tech insights from the guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
So what is the one thing, and if you're just joining us, you're listening to the Tech Ranch with Steve Bakken and...
This is supposed to be.
Yeah. That's right. It's supposed to be. What do you think the number one way you save money using your smartphone is?
The GPS route.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have this bad habit. I really don't like to travel the same way twice.
Right.
But you can go into whichever app you use. I use Google Maps a lot, but whatever GPS app you use, you can go by traffic, you can go by time, you can go by distance, and somewhere in between is the most efficient way to travel. So if you're going to be hung up in road construction or a traffic jam for an hour or 45 minutes, then maybe you go a different route and you'll get around that. It might be a little bit further, but it'll be quicker. Or, there's a lot of different ways. I can put in a route that I'm going to be doing 81 miles an hour down the interstate, even though the speed limit's 75. Or I can put in a route that's 55 mile an hour roads or 65 mile an hour. Well, that's going to take a little bit longer, but could be way shorter.
Sure.
So I manipulate those aspects of the apps that I use for travel.
I think one of the most obvious things that most people don't think about is photography and the ability to share
$1,000 camera
photos. Well, I mean, you had a digital or an SLR at one time, not digital, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You miss the photomat?
I miss the anticipation of getting my photos back. I do miss that.
I had an epiphany moment here.
A photomat. I haven't heard those words.
But I had an epiphany moment about 5 years ago or so. My grandmother passed away, and she took pictures of everything. And one of the things we were going through when we were cleaning out her home was boxes and boxes and boxes of not the photos.
Oh, the negatives.
The negatives.
Yeah.
And it's like, try to look at these.
Yeah.
Is this an important photo?
Yeah.
Is this an important photo? Is this an important, going through the negatives? And she was always, cause remember they always ran the deal. It's like, and get the second photo free.
Yeah.
So you got duplicate photos.
Yeah. All the time. Yeah.
Because a lot of people would pay for, I need 6 copies of that photo because I have to give it to this person, this person, this person, this person.
And generally you'd have to drop them in the mail.
Yeah.
So there was that as well.
That added cost also. And
driving to the post office.
You had to put it in a heavier envelope.
Yeah, they had the envelope specific for photos. Yeah.
Yeah. Going through the negatives. It was, what's a negative nowadays?
As far as, most people don't even know what it is. Yeah.
Go ask some high school kid.
Yeah, they had
a negative. Not a clue.
Not a clue.
Kind of like asking what's a cassette.
Right.
Not a clue.
Right. But you think about that. You said photomat. The last photomat I saw was floating down the Chicago River.
What?
I'm not exaggerating. I was in Chicago. Is it the Green River it's a Green River that goes through Chicago?
Well, they make it Green.
Aptly named, but it is Green River. And somebody's shouting at me now. No, you idiot! It is the Chicago River. Anyway, look it up for me, please. But they do make it green, but it's green most of the time anyway. But there was my guess is somebody picked up because the photomats were. They were kind of like drive up things. They had these self-contained little plastic huts that a lot of places had that you pick up and drop off your film at. And I was in Chicago and I'm like, what the heck is floating down the river? And then it flips over and it said photomat across it or whatever it was. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But that was the last one I saw.
That's funny.
Are you looking up the name of the river now?
There's Chicago River. There's Des Plaines River.
It must be the Chicago River.
Yeah, those are kind of the.
So the main one that goes through down, through downtown Chicago is just Chicago River. I don't know why I have the Green River in my head, but the Des Plaines does run through there as well. Yes. Yeah. So just the savings alone, how many rolls of film in the height of your photo taking, days with an SLR, which is a single lens reflex is what it stood for. There was actually a mirror, that the image would bounce off through the lens, and then that mirror would reflect onto the image onto film. For those of you who are younger, that you would then have to take to a place to get processed, and they would take it into a dark room and process the film, and with chemicals or whatever, they would take that image from the negative and make a positive of it by putting it on a piece of paper.
Calumet River too.
Okay, thank you for that.
3 that.
Okay,
there. They just make it green. Okay, so Polaroids.
So there were Polaroids. Yep. Did you do a lot with Polaroid?
We had one. Remember that track cartridge of flash bulbs you had to put on the top of that?
Yes, I do.
You had to insert it. And
yes.
Because it would go flash and then that one would burn out.
Yeah, it would be like flash. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, because the cool thing with the SLRs, the little 110s. It was, you always had to make sure the batteries were good.
Right.
Because it was that battery.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Photography, it's really incredible how much that has changed in this world. And now, when digital cameras first came out and then digital SLRs.
I think the biggest savings, though, is because back when we're talking about old school photography, you took a picture and you wound up taking a bunch of pictures because you had to develop them to see if they were good.
Well, you didn't know.
You didn't know.
You had no clue. I mean, you had to rely on what you saw in your head that was going to show up on that, and most of the time it was wrong.
And now with digital cameras, before you ever print anything out, you're looking at, I don't like that picture, I don't like that. So photography has changed because now photographers just hold the button down and it takes a bunch of pictures. It's auto click.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's still an eye to it. There's no doubt about it. But there really had to be an eye to it when you could not see.
Latitude for error.
Yeah.
Which
is why I think a lot of these setups and whatever, like if you went to like Sears and JCPenney's, do they still have photo departments? Or they take?
Well, there's no Sears anymore, but I think JCPenney still has like go in for your family photos.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, and they'd have the backdrop like what you're sitting in front of right now that you could take a photo of in front of the Green Forest or planks of wood. Yeah.
You've returned to the Tech Ranch, where technology is our passion. Let's jump back into the conversation with Marlo and Steve.
You want to sing that again for me?
No. Want me to sing? Nobody wants me to sing.
Well, then why were you singing to me now?
Well, we were talking about sushi earlier.
Yeah.
And there was a comedian that
used to sing.
It was a bit, and it's like, if you knew sushi like I knew sushi.
I knew I'd get you to sing.
Yeah. That wasn't singing.
So
lyrical stylings of the Tech Ranch.
The Tech Ranch. Another segment of the show. So we are talking about saving money using your smart device. Obviously, we're going to have another week about this topic because we're not going to get through it all today because we've talked about everything else again. We lead such interesting lives. We think people should hear the stories that we have about our lives, right? We should just start that show. The stories of Steve and Marlo.
Because we have so much spare time
to talk. Yeah, to talk about what we've done in our lives, right? And we think it must be interesting for people because...
Well, yours is interesting.
No, yours is the one.
You've got something going on daily.
Not
changes.
Not true.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, you do too. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, but I'm not traveling all over the place to do...
If you've noticed, I've been home for the last couple of weeks.
You have, which... It's kind of the question. It's like, where are the projects at? Yeah. It's like, Marlo's going
through travel withdrawal.
Yeah.
Is there a drug for that? Is it a syndrome? I think so. We need medication now. All right. So
it's airplane food, don't you? Yeah.
I do. The cheese and crackers on Allegiant. Of course. Those are so good. That's $9.99 for a package. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
But I get my free drink.
Ooh.
I know.
Allegiant?
A perk for being a card member.
Okay.
You know, you get a free drink, water or whatever. It's amazing.
Yeah. Remember the days in travel before? Think about this. Before 9/11 and before travel changed, it's like you would load up with a couple pops, pack of Cool.
Oh yeah, you take your own stuff,
all your snacks. You'd bring that with you and go to the airport.
Sandwiches. It was like road tripping, except you were air tripping.
And now it's everybody. Okay, dump out your no fluid. Okay, you buy your stuff at the airport.
Yeah,
and then. It was hard. You know, talk about saving money. It was hard because I always bring a water bottle with me now and fill it up before I get on the plane.
Yep.
And
because most airports have that water.
Yeah. And try to stay hydrated when you're traveling. But, you know, go picking up a pop, you know, like paying airport prices. Are you kidding me?
I remember
that was hard. That was a hard shift for somebody who's,
oh my goodness.
Thrifty side for me, but
I remember the first time I was in the, this is 8 or 10 years ago. I was at the Las Vegas Convention Center and I'm like, want a pop, Steve? Sure. What would you like? Oh, bring me a Diet Coke. Yeah, I'll take a water or whatever. So I'm going to there's a vending area.
$22 later.
Right. And I go over there and I have some cash on me and some change and I'm ready to start getting some sodas for everybody. And the only way I could pay for it was with a credit card. You want me to buy soda pop at a vending machine with a credit card? And, you know, then you realize that it's $4 for a soda and you're just like, well, there's a reason they only want credit cards here because who's got $4 in change to pay for a soda, you know?
New threshold on minimum credit card purchase.
Well, it was $10.
Okay. Mine's still $10. It's under $10 and I could pay. Yeah. I'm not using a card.
So mine would still be $10, but the epidemic took care of that because there are so many places that don't even take cash anymore. Right. I mean, it's a ridiculous scenario.
If I can pay for cash. Mine's $10. I will not. And I refuse to do fast food.
There are times in my life now that I'll walk around for a week without any cash on me.
Do that.
To me, it's just a weird scenario to not have any cash on me. And I've hopped on a plane with no cash.
So think about that. I can't do that. No.
Well, it's just because I do it so much now. I just don't even think
the Wi-Fi's out and you can't use your card.
Well, there's a lot of that, right? And you're right. You should have, and in my body, on my body someplace, I usually have a bill or two that if I need something.
I'm not going to ask what your secret hiding spot is.
Thank you for that.
Okay, so think about this mindset though, because it's like, because I always, God, I gouge you at the airport, right?
Oh, it's terrible.
So when Wendy and I travel, my wife and I travel, we always, all right, we're going on vacation. Kick it off. Go to the airport bar and have a drink. Got to do that because, well, before we get on the plane, right? If we're not upgraded and flying to where it's free.
Yeah.
Or, you know, in our case, we're at an extension airport out of our community. So they've really, because of COVID, gotten rid of that first class or business class or, you know, you don't get the full service on that short little flight anymore.
Right.
You used to.
Right.
Unless you want to buy it. And Wendy had an epiphany moment because we were getting drinks at our airport and it was like, okay, this is nice. And she's like, how much was that? It's cheaper on the airplane. A lot. I was like, you're right. But habit. You know, it's kind of like the habit of.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
When it's actually cheaper on the airplane.
It's cheaper on the airplane by a lot. We're not talking close.
I guess I've never put that together before, but that might make sense as to why
So you might save money by actually
when you hop on the plane and people are all of a sudden when they start serving, they're like, I see Jack Daniels and whatever else being served. I'm like, it's only 48 minutes to Minneapolis. Why? But then
habit. We're on vacation.
So I understand that, but if you're actually thinking about it, people are just waiting to have their first drink until they're on the plane because it's less expensive. I never thought about that before. That's interesting. Yeah.
Like, and it wasn't close. I'm like, I'd have to rethink that.
Yes.
Thought process a little bit.
Yeah. All right. There you go. I'm going to start drinking on the plane now.
Yeah. Save money. Drink on the plane.
I bet the plane ride will be much more enjoyable too.
Oh, absolutely. They should have free on the plane because everybody will be happier, right?
Delayed for 2.5 hours as we circle Minneapolis? No problem.
Actually, that kind of happened to me one time. I was flying from Los Angeles back here, and there was a plane coming in that was having problems, and they had to go dump fuel. And we're sitting on the tarmac, and they wouldn't let us go back to the gate. It's 110 degrees in Los Angeles, so you know how hot it was on the plane. You're not hooked up with the GPU, the ground power unit anymore. So, they got things shut off, and the pilot was like, well, free booze for everybody. Let's just keep it happy.
Let's keep the natives happy. That's right.
Welcome back to the Tech Ranch. Let's get back to discovering the latest in technology with the guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
Welcome back to the Tech Ranch, everybody.
Are we going to finally save some money?
Where tech doesn't mean technology. Oh. It means anything. Actually, it's anything but. While we talk about our technology experiences,
a little robot tech squirrel.
But that's about all the farther it goes.
Little red eyes.
I mean, it's technology. We were, last part was about riding on airplanes. That's technology.
Well, we're talking about saving money, and so drink on the plane.
There we go. That's right.
Bars.
That's right. Drink on the plane says airport bars. There's a way to save money right there. Yeah, we are actually talking about how you use technology to save money, like the fee that you would pay for your smart device.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm betting now if I bring up another app, that'll be the last thing that we will be talking about for the show.
Well, if you bring up the Acorns app.
Well, okay. Let's talk about Acorns.
Because you turned me on to that, and it's like, wow.
There might be other apps similar to Acorns, but Acorns is a lot of fun. So you can, you explain what Acorns is, since I know you're a fan of it as well.
So every time it's tied to my credit card, and every time I make a credit card purchase, it
rounds
up and puts the money over there. And then, and you got me into this as well. There's an investing feature that you can use with Acorns. It's like, and when you say investing, it's not a lot, but there's a safe little, very conservative. You can just let it work for you. And
you and I are similar in this. Back when we used cash for everything, because I refused. I should say refused.
Well, that's where it started, because change jars.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Started talking about change jars.
You and I were kind of in the same mindset that as we've moved from cash to using a card all the time for all of our purchases, we come home at night and there's no change in our pockets anymore. And I would always pay with bills, even if it was 38 cents for a candy bar or something like that, I would put a $1 bill down, even though I might have $2 or $3 in my pocket.
Change for my change.
That's exactly what that's right. And every once in a while you take it to the bank and you put it in the bank or whatever, and
then you go
save
buy
whatever.
Something big or a trip, or I always use it for trips, for travel.
Yes, but what's cool about Acorns is that you can still do that now. And it rounds up and it puts it in there. And instead of sitting in the house, not collecting any interest at all or whatever, they actually will put, if you want them to, you can have them put your money to work and start buying stuff.
Most people cashed in a change jar.
Oh, I think maybe $500.
I had one that was over $1,600.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's a lot of change. But
I
would throw in, hey, I got an extra 20 in my pocket, or an extra 5 or 19. Yeah, I would do that occasionally. So
Or that
especially back in the days when people worked for tips when they're younger, and I had worked in a tipping world, and man, take your tips. Today's tips are going in the change jar. I never spent my tips because I always would go through the register and get the fresh bills because I had this weird thing going on. I never spent crispy bills.
Interesting.
Crappy little
things folded up or whatever.
Yeah.
It reminds me. So I've never really worked much for tips in industries that worked. I mean, when I worked in the restaurant business, I was either a cook, and at that time cooks didn't share in tips, or I was in a fast food restaurant and we didn't get tips there. But I walked into a gas station, and this is a few years ago, and I think it was a Sunday morning, and I was just picking up some convenience things, and go to pay for it, and I reach in my pocket, and I just have a bunch of wadded up $1 bills. So I count them out and throw them on the counter, and I said, thank goodness I was dancing last night. And and this gal that was behind the counter gingerly picks up these wadded up dollar bills. Like, I was dancing for money, I guess. I don't know. It was funny that she believed me.
It's a private.
Yeah, that's right.
Dancer from.
So that's my tip experience right there. I don't know where we're going with this concept.
Saving money with Acorn.
Oh, that's right, Acorn.
My favorite app.
Thank you. So you're saving your change now.
Grow like an oak.
Yep. And then, grow like an oak is what it's called. So it's Acorns, ACRONS, just like it sounds. And they have a little oak, or a acorn, as a icon for the app. So make sure you do that. And I guess if we were going to suggest one thing today, to me, it would be Acorns, because Acorns is a great way to save that change. You can do other things with it too. You can move over your IRAs or 401ks or whatever it is. You can do all of that in Acorns too. They've continued to add more financial features, but their core feature is saving change. And it's a great way. And I know, at one time, I've actually spent mine down a little bit because I did take a trip with mine. But at one time, I think the first time we talked about it, would I have like $22,000 in there?
That was ridiculous.
It's a ridiculous over like 3 years. And that was a combination of saving the change and it being invested. So I like that investment feature a lot because there's times that it's made a lot of money in there. So yeah, it's great.
So what other apps are out there from a financial perspective? Because, with digital, and nobody carries change anymore, because you just don't. People pay with cards. And you quite often don't even carry cash, which I just can't do that. But are there other apps out there like Acorns? Because they were kind of a little bit of a benchmark one. Are there other ones out there that have kind of picked up some space?
So I would imagine that there are, but I'm not familiar with them. So I guess I think that's but I think that's true with a lot of people, because if you have your money invested in one particular spot and you tend to stay there, like your retirement investments and things like that, right? So I really haven't looked around. I've been very, very happy with Acorns, and so I just have always stayed there. But the other financial piece, though, have you ever paid with your phone?
No,
go up with Google Pay or Apple Pay, and are you not comfortable with that?
Not comfortable with that yet.
And it's because you don't want to attach a credit card or a debit card to your phone?
Because what if I lose my phone? What if no.
But do you have your phone set up that you always have to put a PIN in? Do you even have a choice to do that? So somebody bonks you on the head and steals your phone, how are they going to pay with your phone anyway? They bonk you on the head and steal your credit cards, they'll probably be able to use those cards.
Well, because I know you do because of travel. What if you don't have a card with you?
I haven't actually ever used it.
You just set it up, but you haven't used it.
I don't even know if it works. I think I tried to set it up one time with Google Pay. I'm just not even sure if my phone would even do this. So anyway, join us next week here in the Tech Ranch. We'll talk more about saving money.
And that's a wrap on another fantastic episode of the Tech Ranch. Remember, if you have any questions or want to suggest topics for future shows, visit thetechranch.com and send us your thoughts. You can also listen to past episodes and watch exclusive interviews not featured on the radio show. Be sure to follow Marlo and Steve on social media by clicking the links at thetechranch.com. Until next time, keep exploring the world of living with technology.